Tesla stock is pretty much flat on the day today, which is actually surprising given the bad data that we got. Here in this video, we will be going over that bad data and all of your Tesla stock news that you need to know. And let's start with what in the world Jim Farley, Ford's CEO, just said. Ford CEO Jim Farley said yesterday, quote, "If you're looking for the future of the automotive industry, stop looking at FSD and Tesla. Look at Ford Pro. It's got 500,000 subscribers with 50% gross margins. I have a feeling this is going to age very poorly." After all, most people in the comment section of this post have no idea what Ford Pro is, and really, I don't blame them. Ford Pro is a business unit within Ford that offers products and services for commercial customers. Ford Pro's goal is to help customers manage their fleets with digital solutions. So it doesn't even have a lick of full self-driving technology, and Jim Farley said, hey, forget about Tesla and FSD. But they really don't offer anything that is comparable in the slightest bit. This to me sounds like a desperate plea to get people to stop talking about Tesla. I mean, which if you look at Ford stock, it's really done nothing. Now, I also found this surprising because Jim Farley usually has very positive things to say about Musk and Tesla, so this was probably just someone telling him to say this. After all, if I were to place a bet, Ford's probably going to be one of the first automakers to license FSD technology from Tesla. So yeah, that post is probably going to age very poorly. Tesla has introduced a new referral program award that allows you to accelerate your Cybertruck delivery for 30,000 credits. It says, be invited to configure and take deliveries of a Foundation Series all-wheel drive or Cyber Beast within 45 days of redemption. Just 12 hours later, and it's sold out. The Cybertruck tour in Japan has now begun, which Tesla has very low penetration in Japan. There's not a lot of people that know about Teslas. There's not a lot of people that own Teslas, and that's actually quite a decently large car market. So Tesla getting more penetration here could be great. Tesla has reintroduced at Giga Texas and Fremont factory tours in their US referral program awards section, and it is 10,000 credits to redeem. In fact, if you refer a demo drive via Tesla's referral program in the US, you will now receive 1,000 credits, up from 100 credits if they complete the drive by March 1st. Aidan Miller responds and says precisely what I was thinking as well. He says, quote, "I'm guessing this has something to do with Tesla's high conversion rate of test drives to purchases. Can't afford not to buy a Tesla." And Tesla has launched another Foundation Series Cybertruck sweepstakes in their referral awards program, 1,000 credits per ticket, and the winner will be selected in April. Tesla has sent out a new email saying, quote, "The Model Y is more affordable than you think. Take delivery this month and get $1,000 off. We now have 6 new Cybertrucks ready to be delivered in Rockland, California, with VINs from 1463 to 1470. So Tesla probably has actually manufactured around 1,500 Cybertrucks, give or take. And check this out. At the same time, Elon Musk just got his compensation package revoked when Tesla stock has went up 14x since 2018. Lucid's board has approved a $6 million cash bonus for the company's CEO, Peter Rawlinson. Lucid says this is a bonus for Peter's, quote, significant contributions to this milestone achievement in relation to the Lucid Gravity's SUV unveiling in late 2023. That is actually insane given the utter collapse you have seen in Lucid stock. Shareholders would do better if Peter Rawlinson was just thrown out the CEO chair entirely, let alone give him $6 million more. In case you missed this news from yesterday, Tesla has been forced to delay deliveries of the Model S dual motor all-wheel drive and Model Y Performance in the United States. Tesla instituted the delivery pause at the request of the EPA due to potential issues with the two vehicles' range figures. Now, again, the Model Y Performance, that's going to be a little bit more popular than the Model S dual motor all-wheel drive, but still, these are not the most popular variants of the vehicles Tesla sells, so it probably will not do anything for Tesla's ultimate delivery number. And in case you missed it yesterday, Adam Jonas has released a new Tesla note saying Trojan EV, Tesla, Mexico, and China. Quote, the US wants EVs, but EV supply relies on China. China wants export markets, but confronts a rise in protectionism. Elon Musk wants cheaper EVs, so do consumers. But you need China for that. Mexico is in a powerful position to broker a westernized China-based EV supply chain. Mercedes tells dealers it's chasing volume by focusing on cheaper gas cars. It's a 180-degree turn from the previous strategy of prioritizing high-end models and EVs. Tesla Energy's X account announces the Powerwall 3 is now available in the US. And apparently Lady Gaga got a Cybertruck spotted in Malibu getting coffee. Tesla's global inventory numbers up a little bit today for the Model Y by a little bit. That's actually about 500 vehicles, but relative to where inventory numbers are, that does seem like a small move. Now, Model X and Model S inventories have recently jumped quite a bit, almost 1,000 a piece. Model 3 inventories have not moved basically at all. They've been bleeding down, kind of falling 10 to 15 a day. And today you actually did just see a jump of about 200, which is probably a good thing at this point. Google Trends data indicates a slight deceleration for Cybertruck search trend activity, as well as the Model 3. The Model 3 going from 36 to 33, the Cybertruck going from 24 to 23. Now the Model Y is seeing increased search trend activity from 35 to 36. Overall, these are some very healthy numbers for Google Trends activity for Tesla. Tesla is currently 3.28% sold short, and let me tell you, the short sellers have taken a beating in just the past couple of days, down about $1 billion. You currently have 18.18 billion worth of short positions currently in Tesla stock. Option activity today from hedge funds and institutions, quite positive. You have seen 871 orders totaling $173.5 million with a positive order value of 63%. Tesla continues their advertising campaign via Google, currently running about 2,000 different ads. On StockTwit's sentiment barometer, you can see the sentiment is currently at 53. That is categorized as normal. Yesterday, the sentiment was bearish at 34, so today's looking a little bit better than yesterday. Message volume today is 62. That is categorized as high. Yesterday, it was normal at 48. And the participation ratio is at 54. Recently, it's been in the 30s and the low 40s, so you're definitely seeing more people talking about Tesla. And I do think more people will continue to talk about Tesla, especially when Tesla has its, AI moment, right? A lot of people have not even considered Tesla as an AI trade. I mean, look at what Tesla has done so far. Tesla stock was the worst performer in the S&P 500 for a period of time to start 2024. Now, Tesla has the most real-world AI use cases out there, as we know of so far. Besides large language models, what other use cases are there currently for AI? You're going to hear crickets when you ask that question. Tesla actually is deploying AI, has been for many years, and eventually the markets will realize that, and everyone's going to be talking about Tesla. I plan to make a specific video about Tesla's AI and AI capabilities with Tesla over this weekend, so stay tuned to the channel for that one. It might actually come out later tonight around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so yeah, be on the lookout for that video. One of the big stories today is the decline of SMCI, your high-flying semiconductor company, hitting a high today of $170 per share, up almost 10%. Currently, the stock's down about 12.5% at $880 per share. Congratulations to those of you guys in the trading community that hit the puts on that this morning. That was a big winner, but Hopefully you guys heeded my warnings that I have been talking about here on the channel. If you are long in this stock, it could take many years to get back to $1,000 plus per share when this thing does ultimately implode, and I believe it's probably going lower from here. Next week's big catalyst for the markets and for Tesla is going to be NVIDIA earnings. NVIDIA earnings will obviously affect SMCI, all of your other semiconductor / AI names. Now, we actually got some pretty bad news today. I'm surprised markets are actually not down more right now. You did get PPI month over month. So PPI month over month on your headline came in at 0.3%. The estimate was 0.1%. So that was hotter than expected, but really not too hot, right? But core PPI came in at positive 0.5%. The estimate was positive 0.1%. So core PPI accelerated dramatically last month. PPI tends to have a pretty big correlation to PCE. So PCE comes out next week, and yeah, it's probably going higher. So yeah, I'm actually surprised markets are doing as good as they are today. Now at 10 o'clock in the morning, you also got Michigan consumer sentiment. This came in slightly worse than estimates. The estimate was for a headline number of 80. You came in at 79.6. 1 year or 5 year inflation expectations came in at 2.9%. Estimate was 2.9%. Consumer expectations came in at 78.4. Estimate was 76.5, so that came in better than expected. Michigan current conditions came in at 81.5. Estimate was 82, so a little bit worse than expectations. But 5 year inflation expectations, or 1 year ahead, 1 year ahead inflation expectations, came in at 3%. The estimate was 2.8%. So a little bit of a mixed bag here across the board. I would say net neutral, slightly negative, just because the 1 year inflation expectations did increase, but really nothing too notable. But yeah, the S&P's down about 0.2%, NASDAQ down about half of 1%, and the Russell 2000 also down about half of 1%. Pretty decent, move. Considering, I mean, I think you should probably be down about 1% on the NASDAQ. I think this is probably being somewhat subdued based on all of the option activity that we are seeing for this week. I do think, the last couple of minutes of trading today can be a sign of potentially what's to come here over the next week or two, just considering the data that we got this week. I think the markets should probably be lower than where they are now, but options are having a huge influence on what the markets are doing. I also find it interesting that NVIDIA is green today. It seems like, bad inflation data by chips is really, what people are doing, which is interesting. Coming after NVIDIA earnings, I think it's likely we get a sell-off and potentially see a broader sell-off in the markets, but maybe just a rotation. Now, if inflation continues to come in hot across, CPI came in hot, PPI came in hot, if PCE comes in hot, that could be the dagger in the coffins for our markets, at least in the short term, because the Fed's made it very clear. PPI, CPI, yeah, it's important, but it really comes down to the PCE. That's what the Fed cares about. We do have a new AI investor sentiment survey that is also out, showing a big drop in bullish investors from 49% last week to 42.2% this week. Neutral investors went from 28.4% to 31.1%, so a decent jump there. But bearish investors went from 22.6% to 26.8%. 10-year Treasury yields are up about 5 basis points. 10-year Treasury yields at 4.29% at the time of recording this video. That is also putting some incremental pressure on our markets. Atlanta Fed GDP Now tracker is now estimating GDP at 2.9% for Q1, following yesterday's somewhat disaster of your retail sales data. 10 and 2-year yield curve inversion is currently inverted 32 basis points, which is actually not bad. It's when you go positive, that's when people start to question whether we're in a recession or going into a recession. Tesla stock on a technical basis, I still do believe we are seeing an inverse head and shoulders. Now, you have broke out of this pattern to the upside. So the level that I would really be watching is about 197 for Tesla. As long as we can close even in after hours above 197, that looks good. But as long as we can get a close above 197, things look okay. A close above 200 would be the better case scenario. Overall, I still think Tesla is now in an uptrend, and I do think we have the gap to fill around 110 to fully fill that gap, and then you could eventually rally more than that. Especially after Nvidia's earnings. Once Nvidia does actually report earnings, I think you get a broadening out of our markets, and I do think Tesla stock can rally quite a bit following Nvidia's earnings, and we'll talk about that in the next video. But let's be honest, if we can buy Tesla at cheaper prices right now, then I'm gonna do that, because I am confident at some point down the line, over the next let's say 1 to 12 months, markets will have its eye-opening moment for Tesla. Markets will become very euphoric around Tesla stock, in my personal opinion. Something along the lines of what you're seeing with Nvidia or SMCI. Tesla may actually briefly, it's possible, become the most valuable company in the world. And again, that's because I believe the first step of this AI craze is the GPU, FOMO, right? We're seeing that may be coming to get played out. We'll see with Nvidia earnings what they have to say, but the law of large numbers really are going to be working against Nvidia at this current moment in time. And then from that point, it's like, where is demand, right? Because demand only is going to be so high for GPUs, at least initially. There's always going to be your refresh cycle. There's always going to be more firms and more companies that need to buy GPUs, but it's like, I actually seen Meet Kevin, he made a great video about this, which put it into context. If you think about productivity, if you think about, you going from no phone to an iPhone, you became a lot more productive. You can get a lot more done in a day, right? You need a phone. Upgrading your phone from, your current version to the latest iPhone, it doesn't really add much value. So kind of in a sense, when you have your GPUs, when you spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a GPU cluster, it's not like you have to continuously buy more and more GPUs. And if we do ultimately go into a recession, if it is starting to look like we're going into a recession, CapEx has already started to fall. Companies are investing less. So hey, that's also going to affect GPUs as well. If companies think we're going into recession, they're not going to spend like they are drunk on GPU clusters. I'm telling you right now, that will stop. There will still be demand, but you're not going to see a frenzy for GPUs. Nonetheless, I do think over the next 12 months, Tesla stock could easily hit new all-time highs, and that's really without the AI craze being associated with the stock that I do ultimately think is coming. But here in the near term, over the next month or two, I think Tesla can easily get back into the 220s. So yes, I'm buying as many shares as I possibly can in Tesla stock until that does happen. Anything under $200 per share is a, as I've said before, sell your kidney kind of moment for Tesla stock. Let me know what you think about this down below in the comment section. The RSI at 47.96, which is under the neutral level of 50, and the MACD line looks pretty good, but still overall pretty dang negative. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you guys want to come join the trading community, check out that link down below in the description of this video. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.